Hey everyone, this is Marc Brunet with CubeBrush.com. This video is going to be about something that I believe is the most important thing that any digital artist should know, especially beginner digital artists, and that is line arts. So the importance of line arts or drawings or sketches, and not sketches, actually line arts. So like a polished drawing before you move on to anything else. So where this comes from is I've been, I guess, mentoring a lot of people. I've been giving a lot of feedback to a lot of different people, and this is the thing that keeps coming back, and it's always the same thing. And I guess it has to do with looking at other artists that are other experienced artists online, and sort of trying to mimic what they do. And of course, you know, since they're experienced, they tend to skip some steps, and I do the same thing. And so what I'm talking about here is skipping this very important step, that is the line art to a painting. So I'm guilty of that as well. So for everybody that's tried to mimic my process for, let's say, my speed paints and stuff like that, I apologize. You're probably not doing it the right way, because I'm not doing it the right way. And so it's not that I'm not doing it the right way, it's just that I'm skipping ahead a lot of stuff, because I've done it so many times that to me becomes sort of redundant to do it again every single time. So the proper steps to any painting, the steps that everybody should be doing and that everybody is doing, if not on the actual canvas, but in their head, all those steps are actually quite simple, and a lot of people seem to have no clue what those are. So the first step: create a solid line art, and that's the first thing. And this should be like a checkpoint. So if you can't reach that point, forget about the rest of the race, forget about the rest of the process. It's never gonna happen. So this is the only thing you should focus on when you begin a painting or like an illustration. Make a solid line art, and don't move on until you've accomplished that, because you'll always be disappointed. So that was the first step. So line art's very, very important, and I just really want to emphasize that if you can't make a proper drawing, if you can't make a kick-ass drawing that is on its own very, very cool, and that could be that could pass as a final image, then don't even think about moving on to the next steps. So for those of you that can reach that point, the next step is values. So painting your values. This is actually quite a complicated process on its own. I would say it's the most challenging for anybody, because you have to sort of imagine light and how it behaves on different surfaces without actually being in that environment yourself, and sort of seeing it through a window. And you have to imagine yourself. You have to be able to imagine yourself within that scene, and as the light source that is sort of shooting those light particles onto the objects. And it takes a lot of brain power, I guess, to be able to do that easily. But like everything, it just comes with time. So that's the second step. So first, drawing. Second, values. And values, the good way to approach it is always imagine a simple light setup in your scene. So you could even I would even recommend that you pop in your layer and that you draw your light setup in your scene, so that you know exactly, so that you have it as a reference, where each light is coming from. And I would most of the time try to use 3 lights, because that's sort of the default light setup in I guess real life. So you have your main light source, and then the light that is the bounce light from that main light source. You can imagine that. So if the main light source illuminates the ground, and the ground, there's light particles that bounce back, and then that would be the bounce light. And the third light would be the ambient, so something that would color your shadows. So think of it as always as a 3-point light setup. It just makes things a lot easier. And what you have to do is sort of go at those lights one at a time and try to imagine them individually lighting your scene. So don't try to do them all at the same time. It's a lot more complicated that way. Just approach it like methodically. So go at your first light setup, your first lights. Sorry, where would this hit? So imagine yourself, you're that light, and you're looking at your character from the perspective of that light. Where would the light hit, and where would it not? And sort of try to shade your character and your scenes and your environments that way. It's quite hard, but like anything, it comes with time. And so that's that with the second step. Now, at this point, you should have a drawing that's actually a painting that has a lot of cool volumes in there. You can sort of see that, you start to see the 3D coming through, even though it's a 2D image. And just because you've placed your light properly, and then the light reacts in a scene that in a way that would be logical in real life. And then once you have your grayscale, after that you color your scene. And to color, I would always recommend that, especially if you're coming from a grayscale, use gradient maps. I guess we'll get to that later, but those are the 3 main steps. So line arts first, values, and then colors. And they should, it's like a race, like a straight line. You can't skip ahead. It's like each of those steps are like big walls that you have to climb over before you can reach the next one. So if you can't do values properly, don't try colors, because colors are not going to look right if your values are not good. And same as if you can't draw properly, your value is never going to look right. And that's all there is to it. So that is the end of my rant. This is what I wanted to talk about mainly for this video. So to recap, since this is about line art, just make sure you can create solid line arts before you move on to anything else. That's the bottom line. The reason I say this is that this will help you progress a lot faster. If you can get really good at line arts and not have to focus about colors or values, if you can just put all your time into creating solid line arts. And line arts are actually complicated. There's a lot of stuff going on in there. So if you can become really, really good at that, then you're already like miles. You're already helping yourself so much. And by focusing on these couple things that are required to be able to do strong line arts, you'll see progress a lot faster, since you're only focusing on a couple stuff instead of sort of spreading yourself thin by trying to do everything. So, and what this does is that it keeps your motivation high, your self-confidence high, and then it allows you to draw more and be able to go through a little bit more of that painful process of being disappointed at yourself, and then getting over it really quickly, and then starting another drawing, and then doing this over and over again until you're really, really good. So yeah, focus on one thing at a time if you can. Focus on drawing, especially if you're not good at that. This should be the first and only thing that you're thinking about. And then once your drawing is starting to get better, improve your line weight so that your lines are properly weighted. Improve your line quality. That's also very important. That's something that a lot of people are not too good with. So having lines that are clean. If you have the line for the tweezers that I have here, for example, really all you need is like 2 or 3 lines to do those. Like it's one straight line for the top, then like the tip is maybe like another line or 2, and then another line for the bottom part, the bottom line of the tweezers. And you shouldn't have many more than that, really, because it's just a simple shape. It doesn't require 1,000 lines, 1,000 like tiny hairy lines to create those things. So focus on that. Try to improve the quality of your line. try to improve the weights of your line, try to improve everything, try to improve your drawings overall. So, you know, practice your anatomy, practice your perspective, practice your gesture, all this stuff. And yeah, don't expect to be able to do anything that is of any quality, any sort of decent level of quality, unless you can do that. So yeah, I hope, I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to depress people. I know it can be a lot of fun to just jump in and start painting and like have colors and values and all this stuff, and you know, seeing more than a line art. And I would always, you know, encourage you to do that if you're having fun, because if you're not having fun, then you stop doing it and then you stop progressing it entirely, and that's not good either. So always mix in a little bit of fun in there, but yeah, just understand that you're not progressing nearly as fast by doing those things unless your first step is completely nailed. So yeah, that would be the most important thing for any beginner artist and any intermediate artist and any professional artist. Make sure your line arts are tight, and if they are, then you can start to sort of, you know, skip them a little bit, as long as they're tight in your head. And so yeah, that's going to be it for the sort of the speech about lines. What I want to go over is a little bit of what I'm planning with this picture really quickly before we end this video. So initially I wanted this, I saw this picture, as you can probably remember from the beginning of this video, of this sort of scientist looking towards the camera. So this gave me the idea of having this same guy, but playing with the subject of the scene, which would be this female character in the foreground. And that was a very vague idea, but that was kind of like what drove this entire painting. And that's why you saw me try a lot of different things throughout the process. Try different compositions, try different even use 3D as you saw, to help me sort of create the elements in the scene, because I wasn't too sure. And you know, I could have created this perfect circle and you know, as a line art, and maybe later decided to drop it. So that's why I used 3D, because it was just a lot faster. So yeah, I was trying a lot of different things, and I settled on something that looks kind of like this. So what I'm gonna be doing until the end is here, just cleaning up my lines, making sure everything is tight. I'm gonna add a little bit of blur here and there towards the end, just so that I can read my my drawing a little bit better, and sort of emphasize the contrast where it matters most. So the main focus of this drawing is the character in the center. So I want to make sure that you first look at that, and then you start to look around and you understand what's going on in the scene. And yeah, so I'm gonna move on to the colors the next video, but yeah, that's the image. So in this case, I wasn't too sure what I was planning. Sometimes I have a much better idea of the final results, and I'll probably end up not tweaking it as much and being a little bit more direct with my approach. But in this case, I wasn't too sure, and that's it's just something that happens. So yeah, I played around with it, and that's the result. So I hope you guys like it. I hope I cleared up some things with with how to approach paintings for all you guys that are starting off. And yeah, I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, bye bye.